We've had two PlayStation VR boxing games before, Creed and Knockout League, which were both really good. And now we've recently received another boxing game by Gotham City Films. It's a boxing game titled Boxing Apocalypse. So, does it hold up to the other boxing games? Boxing Apocalypse is a virtual reality boxing game that takes place in space. You're caught by aliens and you have to fight your way to freedom. There are some short cutscenes in the game, but it doesn't go much further than that when it comes to story. You start off in an arena with multiple aliens surrounding you. They start off with coming at you one at a time, then after you knock out a few, they throw multiple enemies at once. To defend yourself, you can punch, block, use a shield, and power punch. The power punch needs to be charged up, but when it is, you can get an instant KO with an animation. These instant knockouts were cool, but it would have been nice if there was more than one animation for it. There's also a multiplayer mode. You can fight against a random player to test your skills. Once the multiplayer starts up, you're put really close to the other player in the center of the arena. This was done so that players couldn't cheat and get out of the arena. So all you have to do is step back and start the fight. What they did makes sense, but it could be a problem for some players that have a small play area and aren't able to step back. And one issue with the multiplayer is that voice chat isn't enabled. Would have been nice if you could hear your opponents talk, but it's not a big issue and won't be a problem for most players. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to GC, also known as PSVR Underground on YouTube. He helped test out the multiplayer with me. He's a great guy and makes awesome live streams and videos here on YouTube. If you somehow aren't subscribed to him, I'll leave a link down below. The game has 5 levels and 21 challenges. The levels are different enough, but the problem is that nothing else changes. It's just all too similar. It would have been nice if there was some enemy variety between the levels, other than the same exact aliens. Now that I've talked about the levels, story, and multiplayer, let me actually talk about the gameplay. In my opinion, the gameplay was a bit too stale and felt the same every time I played it. It mainly consists of you punching a few times, then blocking, but the blocking is easy to predict because the enemies only punch in a few directions. And it's the same animation. It just feels like rinse and repeat, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, and it just makes the game boring. Even when fighting against online players, it's just a process of punching really fast and moving around until someone loses. There isn't really a strategy or technique to it. Overall, Boxing Apocalypse is just not fun. This game was developed by one person, and I think what he accomplished is impressive, especially with a working multiplayer system, but I think that he needs to work on the core mechanics more. You can add multiplayer in multiple stages, but if the core mechanics aren't very good, there's no point to all that. At its current state, I just can't recommend the game. I want it to succeed, but I think that the game just isn't fun yet and needs to be worked on.